What's good? It's your boy Fanon. All right, we are just about a week away from the Deontay Wilder-Tyson Fury fight. Going to be a very, very exciting fight. Been looking forward to this for a while. 1 week, I think about 1 week. This is Thursday, so a week and 2 days from now. But this video, I'm going to talk about a fighter that's on the undercard, Jarret Hurd. Jarret Swift Hurd, the 154-pound champion, the IBF and WBA 154-pound champion out of Maryland. And he is talking about what he's going to do after this fight, but I'm really excited to see him back in the ring after he hurt his shoulder. The last couple fights that I've seen him in have been absolutely terrific, terrific fights. And that being, of course, the last one was Iserlandi Lara back in April of this year. And then, of course, before that, like 5 months before that, man, there was another great fight that he had with Austin Trout to defend his IBF belt that he won against Tony Harrison. Now, he won his IBF belt against Tony Harrison actually on the undercard of the Deontay Wilder-Gerald Washington fight. So, you know, it's pretty much full circle. He's back on the undercard for Deontay Wilder, but in a lot bigger event. And I'm really, really excited to see him fight for this fight, man. Now, the guy that he's fighting is Jason Welborn, who is from the UK. I have to believe that this is somebody that came over, maybe one of Frank Warren's fighters or somebody that's associated with Tyson Fury. Other than that, I don't see why he would be getting a shot at, I don't know why he'd be getting a shot at the IBF and the WBA belt. There's also of course, the IBO. The WBA and the IBF are the official belts that Jarret Hurd has. He also has the IBO belt, but, you know, shout out to Actual Facts, Angel Santos, man. I'm just not considering the IBO to be a major championship belt. But he's back in action after this rotator cuff, and he's talking about the fight that is just undercover. One of the best fights in boxing that can be made. I believe the best fight that can be made at 154 pounds, and one that will get us as close as we possibly can get to a unified champion at 154 pounds. And that is, of course, against the WBC champion, Jermell Miller. Now, in this interview, it's probably not in an interview. It's probably in the Showtime, a Showtime feature. He talked about the fact that he thinks that Charlo was worried about him and that he's mentally done. Now, without going into the whole article, because there's some other things that I want to talk about with Jarret Hurd and the 154-pound division. But this is what he says. He says, I told myself that no matter what, I'm not stepping up in weight until I fight Jermell Charlo. I got the date 2019. He's definitely worried. You can tell by his demeanor. He's mentally done right now. He knows that there's something about this guy, Jarret. Even though he doesn't have the prettiest style, he's not the fastest, he's not the strongest, he knows how to win. Yeah. I'm not sure. Of course, you know, Jarret can have his opinion about what he sees in Jermell Charlo. My thing about Jermell Charlo is Jermell Charlo always looks froggy. That is one of the most aggressive, outside of the ring, one of the most aggressive cats that I see in boxing, man. He always looks fidgety. He always looks like he's in a bad mood. But that, without a doubt, man, would be a really, really great fight. And a fight that, man, that, like I said, I think it'd be the best fight at 154 pounds. And other than, you know, the big fights that we want to see, you know, some of the bigger, more marquee fights like Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. I would have said Mikey Garcia versus Lomachenko. Those type of fights. Some people, Jermell Charlo versus Canelo Alvarez, or some people would say Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin 3. Those type of fights. This fight right here, Jermell Charlo versus Jarret Hurd, is one of those fights that is just, it for me would be must absolutely must see TV. Now, I'm still, even though, man, Jarret Hurd, when I first saw Jarret Hurd fight Tony Harrison, I was like, I paid attention to it. I was like, okay, this dude's a good fighter, strong fighter. When I saw him fight Austin Trout, my goodness, man, I thought this guy's just playing defense with his face. And, I just was really, really not impressed until he just overcame him, man, with strength. And he just walked him down and beat him up. But then when he beat when he beat Israel Lara, I was like, wow, okay. Number one, he showed that he had a little more boxing skill than I thought he had. He was able to take Israel Lara's shots. And, it was just a terrific, terrific fight, man. It was a terrific fight to watch. I thought that if Jarret Hurd hadn't knocked down Lara in the last round, that, man, I probably would have gave that fight to Lara. But hey, man, if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, you know what I mean? If was a fifth, because dude did get knocked down, man, and Jarret Hurd walked out with that fight, man, and he deserved it. Now, of course, like everybody else, I want to see him go immediately into a fight with another unification fight with Jermell Charlo and just, wrap it up to the extent that we can. But he had his shoulder hurt, and so he had surgery, but now he says he wants to get it done before 2019. So, I'll take him at his word, man. I would still lean, just because, now you're fighting a guy that's even bigger, that's bigger than Lara is, the dude he's bigger than Lara, he's younger than Lara, he's got a real nice, in Jermell Charlo, he can box, he can punch. I just have a hard time believing that I'm going to see Jarret Hurd walking down Jermell Charlo. Hey, but, maybe he's got some more wrinkles in his game. But, hey, I still have to see it. And I'm excited that he says he wants to see it, that he wants to do it. I have no reason to believe that Jermell Charlo, who's fighting just a couple weeks after that against... Man, I think he might be fighting. Is he fighting Tony Harrison on December? He's fighting Tony Harrison, so that'll be a mutual opponent on December 22nd. The same fight when Jermell Charlo fights Willie Monroe Jr. So they're fighting a month apart. 4 months from now, May time frame. Hey, man, hopefully we can get that on, man. Hopefully they can get that on and we'll be able to see that. Now, if that fight doesn't happen for whatever reason with Jermell Charlo, there's other fights, man. I would love to see Hurd in. The biggest one, obviously, for me is the Israel Lara rematch. When a fight is that close and you win a guy's belt, but it's that close, it's that tightly contested, I think that a rematch is in order. Of course, I would take the Jermell Charlo fight first, because then you get 3 of those belts wrapped up. But if it can't happen, or if it happens, then the very next fight, whoever that is, I would like to see fight Israel Lara. If Israel Lara can get past, I believe he's fighting Castano. I'm pretty sure that's who. If I think, is he the WBA, like the WBA regular champion? Brian Castano's 14-0, which was ordered. I do believe that's the WBA. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, that fight was ordered by the WBA. But Brian Castano's a real good fighter as well, man. So if, maybe the winner of Brian Castano versus Israel Lara, which I would, of course, I lean towards Israel Lara in that fight. I would not just lean. I think Israel Lara is going to win that fight, even though from what I see of Brian Castano, Brian Castano's a good fighter. But I'm really enjoying this. The 154-pound division in 2000 is one of the divisions where these guys are actually fighting each other. And that's a beautiful thing. The only outlier in that circumstance is Jaime Munguia. And Jaime Munguia, I don't believe for anything is going to fight any of these guys. Brian, if he's not, my understanding is that Jaime Munguia is the guy that beat Saddam Ali, a young cat, I think he might be 20, 21 years old, out of Mexico. Really big kid. Is probably going to wind up fighting at 168 pounds. So a big, strong, powerful kid was getting featured on on Showtime on HBO. Is signed. Was doing co-promotional events with Golden Boy. My understanding is that he's going to ESPN. I haven't heard about him going to the Zone, but I'm pretty sure they're not going to take him over there to these more experienced fighters on Showtime and Fox. So I think they're probably just going to hold that belt hostage with Jaime Munguia, let him, use that as a way to build himself up. And then to his eventual move into 160 pounds. I'm not, a lot of people are really high on him, but I'm not, man. I'm telling you, I think Jaime Munguia against any of these guys, like Jarret Hurd or, any of these Jermell, Charlo, these guys are going to beat him. Now he's 20, he's a younger guy, so he's got time to develop. And so maybe the real question is, can the people who are like who are the same age as him, if that fight can happen, what they can do with what he can do with guys that are in his same age range. Maybe like the 147-pound Jarret Ennis. I think at a certain point in time, man, if he's 20 years old and 147 pounds, he might get up to 154, up to 160 pounds. So maybe that Jarret Ennis fight, was really what's in the future for Jaime Munguia. But anyway, that all said, man, 154 pounds in 2019 is really exciting. Good luck to Jarret Hurd in his upcoming fight on the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury pay-per-view card, which I am buying and excited to do so. All right, and so with that, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And with that, I'm out. Peace.